Hey guys, my name is Alena. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome, join the family. We're super nice here. Today is kind of a special day because I'm actually uploading this on my birthday and I'm turning 25, which is kind of a big deal to me. I don't know why, but through like my entire life, I always thought like 24 was the age that was like ideal, and then 25 was when like you knew everything, which let me tell you, I don't. And right now, with these uncertain times and the craziness, I don't want to bring any type of negativity or any type of like stress onto you guys, but I also want to make sure I'm relating to the situation. Today I'm going to be sharing 25 things I've learned in 25 years, which have been very strong lessons in my life. I think I'm a very intuitive person to begin with. I feel like I'm such an old soul. I see so much and I take in so much. I'm pretty good with advice, especially when my friends, they're always calling and requesting advice. And I think that like if I had someone sitting in front of me that asked like what were the 25 things that you would say were like the most important lessons, I wrote them down on this piece of paper and I'm ready to share them. I'm sitting here doing my best to donate and help where I can, and if you guys are in a position where you can, I highly encourage you to do it. And if there's a better reason than someone's birthday, that's all I wish, and to just keep everybody in your prayers. And that is all I ever wanted for my birthday. Whatever we can do, I think we can always do it better together. I'm pushing all the love and all the positivity to you. Hopefully you receive it, and let's get started with the video. All right, so the first lesson is actually something I learned since I was very little, and it's learn to be happy with nothing. I came from a family of immigrants. I was born in Ukraine, and to see what my family grew up with, they went through so many tough times, like World War II, and just living in nothing. Like I'm telling you, like a farm and like just, it's to an extent like a third world country in certain areas, and I grew up seeing a very different perspective. I mean, now we live in a home in the suburbs and I feel so blessed, and the reason why I love this home so much, like it's not super fancy, but it has like a pool and like little things here and there that I wanted my sisters to have as they were growing up that I didn't have. I grew up in apartments, moving every few years, changing schools, and our first apartment was in New York City in Queens, and there was rats. But I'm grateful that that's how I grew up, because I saw my parents go from low income to barely having money, shopping at Kmart for clothes and everything, to now being able to afford more. I mean, we're by no means doing like super amazing, but I see where we've come from, and I still remember being so happy and visiting my family and friends in Ukraine reminds me where I came from, and that you don't need to have a bunch of luxuries, a bunch of makeup, a bunch of things to be happy. If everything I had disappeared, of course I would mourn that loss, but the most important thing to me is my family, my friends, and my faith, and that's it. I think I have like one or two items in my home that are like my prized possessions, but things are things, and they come and go. Possessions don't bring joy. And I'm not saying like don't splurge, don't like buy yourself things that you like. No, of course, that's something that you're allowed to do. But they can't be the sole base of your joy. Number two is find lessons in even the hardest days. I think that sometimes you miss miracles, you miss certain things just because you're not openly paying attention. We're just kind of moving through the days. There's actually a story for when I come to number 25 that has been so near and dear to me, but it's like a whole ordeal, and I'll let you guys know at 25. It's such a good lesson, and it was such a miracle in my life that God showed me, and I really encourage you to stick to that one. But I'll share that with you a little later. It's just paying attention to the things around you and learning to take on lessons that are right there teaching you. Number three is something that I see a lot of people not knowing, and something I learned a few years ago. It's not to take things personally. I think that a lot of times people, especially in relationships and friendships, take certain actions as if it's a personal attack on them. Say someone didn't call you, someone didn't invite you to something happened. Sometimes people take others' behaviors and think that it's a personal attack on them, when in reality that person is dealing with something way different. They're not even thinking that they're being offensive or doing something wrong. And you waste your own energy, your anger, to create some sort of drama, some sort of dilemma when it's not even there. So sometimes it's nice to take a step back to understand that that person is going through something, they are dealing with their issues, with whatever it is that's going on in their life, and their first responsibility is to figure out and take care of themselves to then be able to be the best version of themselves for you. Don't allow your mind to immediately think that things are being done to spite you. Sometimes people are just trying to survive on their own. Come to them with an open and loving heart. Number 4 is something I'm still trying to learn. It's discipline. Your dreams will not work unless you do. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, I was in so many different AP and honors classes. I'm not saying that to like boost anything, but I'm just trying to explain to you the workload I had. I had 5 AP classes and the rest were honors. I was up until 2 or 3 in the morning doing homework all the time, studying. I had exams all the time. It was just so overwhelming, and I don't know why I did that to myself. Like, I don't know what I was trying to prove, but on top of that, I did YouTube, and I don't know how I survived on so little sleep, because now I basically need like 11 hours or else I'm like not functioning, which is really bad. I do have a condition, so it's not just because I'm lazy. It's literally science, unfortunately. But discipline is so important, and those times I was so dedicated to my dreams and I was ready to do any of the work necessary. And I think that sometimes we look for inspiration and for happy days and things to say, oh, today I'm finally ready to start a YouTube channel. Today I'm finally ready to do like this or that. But at the end of the day, those days don't come consistently. And sometimes even on days like this where it's dreary and there was no piece of my being that wanted to film right now, but I did it and I got ready and now I'm in it and I'm like loving it. You know what I mean? You have to be disciplined in order to get things done. Number 5 is something that I unfortunately had a very hard time learning, and it's that hard battles sometimes need to be fought alone. Whether that's with your mental being or with trying to figure things out in your life. It's not wrong to go find advice and find help elsewhere, but I think that sometimes people allow others to kind of be the ones holding up their problems, and they depend on others to help fix them, and that's not right. I think that we often don't want to take responsibility for the trauma, for the issues we've gone through, and that's not to say that we need to blame people or blame things that have happened to us. But what we have to do is accept them and take those trials and the things that we have to work on and learn that we have to deal with them ourselves. You can't just push it off onto another person. You can't just bounce from relationship to relationship hoping that someone will fix you. No one's gonna do that. You gotta do the hard work. Even like friendships, I've seen a lot of people in my life that have come in and out of my life that try to be kind of like a dumping ground, I guess. They like call you, they give you a bunch of information, they hang out with you, they give you a bunch of information, and it's all negativity, and they're always the victim and they always need help. I've realized it's not something that you can continuously look for solutions outside of yourself. Sometimes you have to sit down and do the inner work. Number 6 is quality over quantity. I remember in high school I used to always just dread the fact that I had so many acquaintances, but like I never had like a group of friends. I see all these people who were in like the popular groups and like just in certain clubs or sports that just had so many friends, so many close friends, so many like good friends. They always had like sleepovers, hangouts at each other's house, and I just never had that. I never even had like one close best friend that I would do everything with. It was just never like that. Now, growing older, it's actually a lot harder to make friends. If you notice, like in your 20s, people kind of already have their group of friends and they're very shy, and especially in this social media world, no one wants to actually interact face to face, and it's really hard. But I have made so many good friends and I can count on them for anything. I can literally, like if I call them right now and say, I need you right now, like this is really bad, something's happening, they'll drop what they're doing and they'll come help me. I don't have to talk to them every single day. I don't have to give them every like play-by-play of what's going on in my day, but I can call them like once in a while and it just feels like time hasn't passed. And I am so grateful for these friends of mine. Like I love them to pieces, and I should say that more often. But they are such quality friends that I would take having 5 quality friends over a group of friends that I can invite to have a whole house party, because I know I do not know that many people to have a whole house party. I'm sorry. People who have that many friends, can you like explain? Please. Number 7, trust God. Worrying won't solve anything. I allowed my anxiety to get so bad in the start of last year that I was having anxiety attacks on a daily basis. It was extremely exhausting. It was that on top of having new medication that I was on for my thyroid that made me feel like I was like hyped up on caffeine or jumping from anxiety to depression. And it was rough because I thought it was me. I thought I was like going wild, but I learned now that it was medicine as well. But I worried about everything, whether it was on my own personal problems, other people's problems, and I tried to fix other people's problems, and I was running myself dry. That was a reason why I kind of was away from YouTube too, was because on top of trying to deal with everything, whether it was family troubles, friends, relationships, whatever, I could not handle sitting down in front of a camera and not breaking down. It was just not possible. So I have learned that you have to say, I can do only as much as I can, and I trust God to take everything else in his hands, because you cannot be someone's babysitter to make sure that they're okay every part of the day. You can't sit down and worry about your past, your present, and your future and sit here and worry about tomorrow, the day after, the day after, the day after. Worry about today, what you can accomplish, and then everything else, let God handle it. I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. Number 8, you have to leave your comfort zone to self-discover, to change, to grow. That comes in a lot of different ways. But one of the things that I really remember that really changed me was my trip to Hawaii. I went with my best friend, Vicky. It was something that was way out of my comfort zone because she's such an active, fun person. And we booked zip lining. We were canoeing in like a storm in the ocean, like things that I wouldn't ever do. I'm such a risk-averse person usually, but that, and then like in my relationship too, like my boyfriend would make me like go on trips to like random places. I remember like in Vegas, and then he booked me a flight randomly back to California because I had a meeting, and like then back to Vegas. It was just like everything was so not structured and random, and things that were out of my comfort zone. And those are the things that really forced me to grow. And I realize now, looking back, that those moments of like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm ziplining right now between 2 canyons, to like, wow, I did that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I made that. And the footage from that, I just see my face. Like, it's literally bliss. And I would do that again. But would I have said that before had I not tried it? Probably not. So leave your comfort zone, even if it's just for a little bit, because that's where growth happens. Number 9, self-love and self-care. So important. Something I never used to do. I would never schedule time to just breathe, relax, and just care for myself. You know what I mean? It was kind of like essential things. Like, okay, we gotta wash our hair, we gotta do like our skincare, we gotta do this. But it was never like, oh, I'm enjoying this. It was like, okay, gotta do this to make sure I don't have acne, gotta wash my hair because it's starting to like look greasy. It was never with intention to care and love for myself. And I've learned that that is incredibly important, because you have to be around yourself for the rest of your life, and might as well care for your body, care for your health, care for everything about yourself, because you matter. Number 10, be flexible with your dreams and plans, because your plans may crumble, but I think God knows what he's doing. There were so many times when I thought I had it all figured out. Like in college, I was like, I'm gonna be an accountant. That is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to business school. That's it. And probably 2 weeks into my semester, I was doing a presentation at this like fashion club. I don't remember what it was, but I was doing a presentation because someone found out that I did YouTube as like a side hustle. And this one girl, Karina, came up to me at the end, and I'm still friends with her today. I love that she gave me this advice, but she said, why are you studying accounting when supply chain fits so much better into what you already do? Like, don't you love what you do? And she helped guide me at that time to realize that I didn't have to fit the mold of what I thought or I was told I had to be. And I'm so grateful for that, because right now I'm like living my best life. I am so grateful for the job that I have. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And most importantly, I am so grateful for her for standing up and talking to me about that, because my parents were always like, you know, I mean, immigrant parents, it's like doctor, lawyer, or like accountant or something good, make money consistent, like, you know, normal 9 to 5. This entire thing freaks my parents out. Well, mostly my mother. She's just like, you need a normal job. But I love this, and it is my job, and my job is to be your friend. That is literally what I get paid to do, and I love it. Number 11, this is something I think that is so critical and helping actually now. I think right now, March 2020, we're all going through this quarantine, and number 11 is stop saying another time or another day for those that matter. My sisters love playing board games. They love hanging out with me. There's a pretty big age difference between us. And I think that's why I'm like so caught up in work. I'm a workaholic, I know. And they're like, can we play? Can we do this? And I do it once in a while, but not as often. And now the fact that this quarantine happened and I'm kind of stuck in the house, I don't have appointments or meetings or anything to run to, I finally have the time. And I'm grateful for this time because I can give it to those that I care about, you know? And we've played so many board games, we've gotten so much closer, and I cherish that because looking back, I'm not going to remember all the craziness going on. I'm going to remember those moments. And I think that moving forward as well, I want to make sure I make time for those people that matter. Number 12 is something I learned in college, and it was drink to remember, not to forget. I love cheersing with friends, celebrating, but I'm not somebody who's ever drank with the purpose of blacking out or forgetting. I've just never done that because to me, that's not the culture I was raised with, I guess. But I saw so much of it in college, and still looking back, I don't really understand it because it seems like just like beating up your liver. Number 13, something my stubborn Aries spirit needed to learn was don't let someone you love hurt because you can't say sorry. I used to not be able to apologize because I was just like, they should apologize, like they were in the wrong. And especially with my parents, like it's just hard. It's hard to admit when you're wrong. And something I've learned is that it's just better to say sorry. Like even if you know that you're right to an extent, just don't let the problem escalate. Just don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. Number 14, invest in your mental health. Therapy works. I went to a therapist, I think it was last year, last year for like 3 months, I think. And it was the best thing I've ever done. Was able to confide in someone that didn't know the entire situation until I told my part. She was able to give me advice and help me learn tools to cope with my anxiety, with my fears, and I still cherish her so much. I don't really see her now because I don't feel like I need it. In the tough time that I was going through, she even said, she's like, I don't think you understand how much you're dealing with right now. She's like, you are downplaying what you're going through. But she was so caring. She would call me to make sure I was okay. And I am so appreciative of what she did for me. And I think that if you need help dealing with something or with a problem, don't be ashamed. It's literally so worth it. I promise. Number 15, something that I think all my immigrant people out there, children of immigrants, your life is yours. Live it for you. I think oftentimes, at least in my head, I used to get clouded with trying to please other people, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life because that's what everybody does. That's what, that's the right thing to do. And sometimes you hear so much that it clouds out what you actually think. I would have loved to do this full time when I got out of college. And my fear of not doing what my parents wanted me to do or not doing what was kind of the norm freaked me out. But now looking back, if I didn't take that risk, if I didn't get pushed into doing this full time, this video wouldn't be created. And maybe someone really needs to hear this. I don't know. It's interesting how life works. But at the end of the day, don't do anything because someone else told you. Don't make big decisions about your life based on other people's opinions. I think it's nice to take advice from other people, but remember and stand true to the things that you love. Don't spend the rest of your life doing things that you don't love. It's okay to take a career that's safe if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you want. But if you know that you love fashion, God placed that love in your heart. Why aren't you chasing that? Number 16, you are more loved than you even realize. I think oftentimes we go through our days and we don't take the time to really be like, love you on the phone or tell someone how much we appreciate them. And usually someone's birthday is like the day to do that, you know? But I think just like take the time to give people you love extra hugs. Just like spend time noticing little things that mean I love you. Like, for example, my mom's always like, put on a jacket. It's cold outside. That means I love you. I don't want you to get cold. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not defined easily, but yeah, you're so much more loved than you even know. Okay, 17, calling myself out. Stop saying and start doing. I do this all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then when the time comes, I am scared of failing, so I don't even try. Girl, do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's it. That's it. That's the advice. Just do it. Number 18, heartbreak can only heal in time. You're gonna go through some really rough nights. You're gonna go through some really rough days. You're gonna break down in the middle of a Target parking lot, and that's totally okay. Okay? I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm gonna be honest. But time will make you stronger. Time will heal the wounds. You might always have a soft spot there for certain things, but you're gonna be okay. Right now, it might not feel like you are, but with time, I promise it'll get easier to breathe. It'll get easier to go through the days. All right, number 19, you see what you want to see. And I say this because sometimes with age, we get wisdom. Whatever it is that you're dealing with or seeing, and decide whether or not you are seeing that through tunnel vision or through rose-colored glasses. I personally am a very positive person. I am a very positive person. I always think there's an optimistic ending, like everything's gonna be okay one way or another, whether it's in 2 days or in 200 years, everything's gonna be okay. I'm just a positive person like that, and that's gotten me through so much, and I wasn't always like that. I think that my faith and trusting that God is bigger than I could ever be, and that it's in His hands, not in mine, have given me so much more of a peace that I am okay with. I see it like that, but I also know people who are so negative, but it's all about training your brain. I find joy in just seeing birds sing outside. I find joy in just a warm sip of coffee. Those moments are so much more than just drinking my coffee to wake up or looking at a bunch of annoying birds outside. To me, it's beauty. And you can make anything beautiful by changing your perspective. Your perspective is so important. Train your brain. Everyone's like, go to the gym, work out. Train your brain. That is so important too. You're able to focus on positives, negatives. You're able to focus on the craziness in the news and the beautiful stories. You can focus on sitting down and working on yourself, or you can focus on panicking about everything going on. Your focus is up to you. For example, in this situation, right? Everyone's thinking, wow, everything is going wrong. I'm stuck in my house, this and this. I'm thinking, wow, I finally have time. I can sit down, meditate longer. I can spend time with my family. It's finally time where it's almost like time's like frozen. I can work on hobbies that I've never had time to do. I haven't been able to paint in years, and I love painting. And I can finally sit down for a whole day and just paint. In every situation, you have a choice to focus on the positives or the negatives. That doesn't mean ignore the complete opposite. Don't ignore it, but just focus. Focus on the things that you want to focus on. Number 20, parents will always be parents. I am currently turning 25, and my mom still tells me to wear a warmer jacket. My mom still double checks if I ate. I mean, I live at home right now, but I do that because I have young sisters, and I'm like scared that the moment I move out, I'm not going to be like that big sister anymore. I'm going to be like that sister not in the house. My parents are still my parents, you know what I mean? No matter how old I get, I'm pretty sure they're still gonna be on me for like everything. 21, rest. Doing nothing is something in itself. Number 22, you are valuable and you are worth it. I hope you repeat that every morning. Number 23, God won't take anything away that he doesn't intend to replace with something better. I think that this is something that I worried about a lot in high school and probably early time in college. I think it also relates a lot to people in relationships. I see this a lot in my friends too. People sometimes are scared to let go of something that's toxic or negative or not ideal because they're scared that something of equal or better value won't be around. Sometimes you have to choose having nothing over having something that's not good for you, just for the sake of respecting yourself. I know that regardless of what happens, God does everything for the good. Everything is a lesson. And if it's taken out of your life, that means it has finished its purpose in your life and you can move forward, looking forward to the next thing. Number 24, always remember there's a child in you. Don't grow up. I still feel like a kid half the time because I go see like animated movies with my sisters all the time. I play board games. Like I just played tag with my sisters like 2 days ago. I still act like a kid. I still look at life from a perspective of like a child because that innocence and that way to like just be profoundly amazed by everything, I think it's an art. If you can hold on to that, that's an art, okay? Don't take life too seriously. You can fool around, you can do whatever it is that you want. It's not that serious. All right, and number 25 is even when everything seems doomed, do it anyway. And this relates to the thing that I was saying that you can find lessons everywhere. I was actually having a mental breakdown in my car a few years back, I think. And I was sitting in a park that I love going to because it just always calmed me down. Anyways, it was cloudy and all of a sudden I hear tapping on my window and I'm like, what the heck is this? I look over through my teary eyes and I see a dragonfly that just is trying to bust into my window. Like I was not understanding why it didn't want to just fly over my car. It was just attacking my window. So I open the car and I get out and I just decided I'm going to start walking towards the water. So I walked through this forest and just towards the water. There was so many dragonflies there. There was so many dragonflies. I've never seen that many dragonflies. And they were these like beautiful like red and orange ones. I was like, whoa. So anyways, I was sitting there and as I'm sitting there, the sun starts to come out and I was meditating, I was praying. I was looking for guidance for whatever it is that I was dealing with at that time. I think it was like health or relationship. I don't remember, but I was sitting there and all of a sudden I see in the corner, there's a spider and it's a pretty rainy day. So I knew it was going to rain again. I saw a huge cloud. As I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the spider and the spider is working so hard, just starting on his web. And he's working on the web so hard. And I'm like sitting there all mopey and I'm like, I wish I could tell the spider that it's not even worth it. Like, what's the point of building this web? It's gonna rain right now. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, all your work is gonna be for nothing. Like, just give up right now. Just give up and try it on a better day. And as I'm sitting there, I was like still sitting, meditating, maybe listening to music. I don't remember. But then I looked down and the spider is done with his web and he caught something. I think it was like a fly or something, but he caught something. In that time span, he caught his meal and it still hasn't even started raining. And I was about to tell the spider, if I could speak the spider language, that it wasn't worth it. It was still gonna rain. It still looks like doomsday out there. But that does not mean that it's not worth it. That spider was persistent in doing what he knew he needed to do. And he got something out of it. That means, same thing in this situation. Just because everything seems gloomy and cloudy and it looks like it's about to storm out there, it does not mean that you should stop. You have a purpose. You have a reason for being here. And you are going to get through this and probably gain something from this. So pay attention to the things that you want to focus on. Pay attention to the things that matter to you. And don't you dare let anybody tell you to stop. Because, are you kidding me? Be the spider. Be persistent. You know what's good for you. trust God. You'll get through this. And with that, I am going to leave you guys for my birthday celebration in my quarantine home. I'm a very introverted extrovert, so I'm perfectly fine celebrating at home by myself, but this also gives me the opportunity to reschedule my birthday festivities with my friends, so I can't decide if I want to be a summer birthday or a fall birthday. We'll see when the quarantine's over, but I'll wait for an invite. I'll decide what other zodiac sign I want to be or something. I don't know. Maybe June or July. Have a pool party? A beach party? Never before have I had this opportunity to reschedule. If I, on a normal day, rescheduled my birthday to a different month, people would be like, is she really that extra? This year, I am. I'm turning 25. Yeah, so even though I'm cooped up in my house with my family, my mom is baking me a cake. I ordered a helium tank with balloons. I am going to blow up my own balloons. We're gonna celebrate. I'm so thankful for you guys. Thank you for letting me be your online big sister, for supporting me for all these years. I really can't believe I've been doing this for like probably 10 years now. And I still, like, every day don't feel like I deserve all of you. Like, I am so grateful that you guys watch me and follow me through my life and just are my friends. So thank you. I love you so much, and I am going to be giving you guys so much more content right now through this tough time. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I love you. I'm giving you a virtual hug right now. Thank you so much for sitting through this video and celebrating my birthday with me. I'm praying for you. I love you so, so much, and I'll see you in the next video.